So starting on the left side of the camper now, pretty much the same deal as on the right side. Fortunately, it's not quite as bad, but I have a lot of rust that I need to cut off. And then I'll make some pieces and weld them back on. Um, it goes all the way down the whole side of the camper, which you'll see in a picture later. Right on this side, I need to fix the rocker panel so that I can reattach the door that covers the generator. That nice piece of gray metal to the right is the generator that I bought from Roland White, custom made to fit into the Rialta, since you obviously can't get Rialta parts or generators anymore. The original generator was a terrible generator. It was an Onan, or no, a Power Generac. Sorry, Generac was the brand, and apparently it never worked very well, even when they were brand new. This new generator is adapted from an off-the-shelf generator from Harbor Freight, and Roland relays out the components. He builds an airflow case for it, and then he runs the wires inside and hooks up the wiring and electronics so that you can run it from either inside or outside. A bit expensive, but well worth it if you have a Rialta and you need to get good, reliable power. I highly recommend it. Anyways, you'll see I just, I'm cutting and grinding. I'm looking for metal that I can keep and metal I have to cut off. I'm going to do it a little differently. On the other side, I took all the metal out and then had to work it from the inside. On this side, the overhead metal is actually in reasonably good shape, so all I have to do is replace the vertical piece on the back and the slanted piece on the front, and that made this side much quicker.
There. Got a hole in the wheel well, just like the other side. I was hoping I wouldn't have that on this side. So I'm going to go inside and take a look and see what I can figure out. As usual, I forgot to start the recording. I had cut this piece. It's all stitch welded, butt welded up here. No overlap, so it's good practice. The back of this was all rusty and ground, so I ground it away. So anyways, I've got a gap here that I'm going to try to weld across. The technique that I saw them doing was to weld on one side, weld on the other, and then join it in between. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to start a little higher up, see how this metal reacts, and then I'll try it. Every time I think I'm done, a little more burns away. I think that's not it. I think that's not bad. That looks pretty good. So it feels like if I angle in from one side from the thicker, stronger metal, it's less likely to burn through because it starts on the stronger side. I could be wrong, but that's what it's feeling like. What I'm doing up here is, I just kind of figured this out, is I'm starting on the remains of the previous spot, which is thicker, and that gets that initial burst of amperage to get the spark going. And then I think the machine, it'll start hot and then cool the power. So I start on the thick part, and then as it cools, I drag it across the remaining gap. That seems to be working really good. All right, there you go. Done. Some good welding, some pretty sloppy welding, but that piece is there. I just have one more piece to make for this, and I got to fill in that hole, but that'll probably take me the rest of the week. Then I got to concentrate on all of that. Okay, there we are. I've made this piece here. I had to bend it here at home because they were having a class at generators, so I couldn't do it there. I have a slight gap here in the middle, so I'm going to try pushing this piece of metal in when I'm getting ready to weld it. I'm going to go ahead and try the spot welds like I always try, and they never work. But we'll see how it goes, as we always do. All right, except for that last one, to date, I think that's the best spot welding that I've been able to do so far. Like, I'm chuffed again. I think that's awesome. Okay, this is a removable piece that is attached to the door. It's for the generator compartment. It's removable so that you can remove the generator, and as you can see, it's pretty rough. I'm going to wire brush this down and core seal it. Someday in the future I may have to make a new one, but not today. Let me show you something. All right, you see how nice and shiny this is now that I brushed it? You may think that that is good to go. Watch what happens when we grind it. You see that dust coming out? That's because there's rust inside the metal, sandwiched between layers of the steel. Brushing is not enough. Brushing is good for getting the loose pieces off. But if you really want to preserve whatever you're working on, you need to grind a little to get to good metal. Of course, that could mean that there's really nothing good left. This is about as good as I got it. Not worth going too hard on it, I don't think, because it's so rusty. There's no way I can get inside. So this one, you know, it'll probably last for another 5 years. That's what I'm hoping. And then I'll have to make another one. This goes on right here like this. It's actually a little bent. Okay, there's the part all Cora sealed. And we'll come back tomorrow, see what it looks like. And I'll have to pick up some more paint. All right, there we go. From the back corner, this has been screwed down. Clean this, attach this. It's a little bent, and so this part is cracked. Nothing I can do about that. Someday if I rebuild this whole piece, if it finally rusts out, then I can fix that. But because of the way it's constructed, I can't unbend it without cutting it apart. There. Door is attached. That part's done. All right, next part, let's close this little hole. It's not that big. You can see it's less than 2 inches, but I gotta weld a piece in. Before I do that, I'm gonna go inside with my oscillating tool and scrape the plastic off the back of this so that it doesn't catch fire while I'm welding. All right. I honestly wish I had iPhone cameras for eyes. It's a lot brighter on the camera than what I can see. Anyways, right there, that's the part. I don't have a tripod set up, so I can't show you while I'm working on it. But you've seen me scrape this stuff off before. I'm gonna do it with the good old oscillating tool. Perfect.
At this point, the welding really got difficult. It started out okay, but as soon as I got to that top, everything I did simply burned the metal away at the top. It was so rusty and thin at that point. I really had trouble dialing in the welder. I did eventually, you gotta look at it. I did eventually get all the holes covered.
That was trying to butt weld 22 gauge. It did not go as well as the 16 gauge went, as you saw, but I got there in the end. It's not so very bad.